Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5
best gaming mice.
Starting at number 5.
Logitech G502X. At first glance, Logitech's G502X gaming mouse may not appear much different to its predecessors, but look a little closer and you'll notice some useful revisions, in particular for FPS players. While there's no change to the already improved G502 Hero 25K sensor, there are some impressive ergonomic enhancements to note, along with customizability and weight improvements to boot. In fact, Logitech has doubled down on making the Logitech G502X lighter. It comes in at 89G, which is a significant difference over the Hero's 121G. Sadly, it doesn't come with the option to configure the weight like the Hero, which would have been a nice addition considering it's going for the same price as its predecessor. There's no LED system behind the Logitech G symbol, or any RGB at all. And while that's a little disappointing that you can't program damage flashes on your mouse, for example, it makes sense to appeal to the FPS audience more. While the scroll wheel is now plastic instead of metal to improve the weight, it still comes with an infinite scroll, our Dave's most loved feature. Comparing the G502X to my absolute favorite gaming mouse, the Logitech G502 Lightspeed, I've spotted some subtle differences that might not seem like much, but do affect the overall experience.
Coming at number 4.
Logitech G203 Lightsync. If you find the Logitech G203 Lightsync familiar, you're not the only one. This mouse may be tipped as a fairly recent arrival, but it is almost functionally identical to the G203 prodigy that preceded it. The G203 Lightsync sits within a hotly contended category of budget-conscious gaming mice. Most of all, it faces stern competition from Razer, whose lineup at this price, or thereabouts, now includes the DeathAdder Essential, Basilisk Essential, and Viper Mini. However, the G203 Lightsync has enough about it to stand its own. Its no-nonsense design packs the bare essentials, and it builds upon that slight flair for the aesthetic that you won't find quite so pronounced anywhere else. The G203 Lightsync is a wired mouse. It's Lightspeed that you're looking for if you're after a wireless rodent. Instead, Lightsync denotes this mouse's compatibility with the Logitech G app and RGB lighting system, which is able to unify RGB lighting effects across compatible Logitech products. What's somewhat confusing is that non-Lightsync products are also able to integrate with said app to varying degrees. The 3 titular lighting zones all lie within the thin strip that spans the rear palm rest, with the logo above taking the same color as the middle RGB lighting zone. While it might have been nice to have independent control of the logo itself, the option does allow for gorgeous tricolor gradient effects sweeping from one side of the mouse to the other.
At number 3.
Razer DeathAdder V2. The Razer DeathAdder V2 improves on everything we love about the DeathAdder Elite, itself one of the best gaming mice, and one that has been around since 2016 in various forms. You can pick up the improved DeathAdder V3 nowadays, but we're still fans of the older kit as it's just so darn cheap right now. Someday that'll change, yet for now we're betting on the better value buy. The most obvious improvement with the V2 over the original DeathAdder is the Focus Plus optical sensor, the same one used in the excellent Razer Viper Ultimate Wireless. I'll go into it in a second, but I was more impressed by the more subtle changes Razer has made for the V2. The first is the scroll wheel. Razer has a ridiculous name for the new design, instinctive scroll wheel tactility, but the results are perfect. It's exactly the right tightness. It spins smoothly, but you can still feel every notch of the turn, so you won't accidentally scroll too many times.
Number 2 of my list.
Logitech G305 Lightspeed. With the Logitech G305 Lightspeed, Logitech has created a high-performance wireless gaming mouse that doesn't cost the earth. Its mid-range price has it competing against some great wired mice, but there's no compromise in performance or design. The G305 Lightspeed might not be the latest model on the market, but don't let that bother you. A good mouse is a good mouse. It's still a great value option for day-to-day use, while its lightweight makes it well suited to fast-paced shooters where reaction time is paramount. The G305 uses Logitech's Hero sensor, an iteration of the fantastic sensor Logitech's best mice, from the classic G502 down to the G Pro X Superlight. This sensor is capable of sensitivity range of up to 12,000 CPI, counts per inch. It can be adjusted via a button underneath the scroll wheel. In addition to the CPI button, there are 5 programmable buttons. Of course, there are the left and right click buttons, which are joined by scroll wheel and 2 side buttons. These are well placed for the righties out there.
And number 1.
Razer DeathAdder V3 Pro. With over 15 million sold since its inception, the Razer DeathAdder has certainly earned its place in the Best Gaming Mouse Hall of Fame and at the top of our Best Gaming Mouse Guide. There have been so many iterations and variants of the legendary mouse, and with the newest one, the DeathAdder V3 Pro, Razer isn't really messing with a winning formula. In fact, it has doubled down on everything that earned the DeathAdder its name: excellent ergonomics and pro-level performance. Razer has taken the DeathAdder to the gym, cut down the fat, shed weight, and ripped the muscles to create a lean, mean, clicking machine. The design changes are reasonably subtle but enough to offend some DeathAdder diehards. Gone are the massively flared-out mouse buttons and smooth shell in favor of a slimmer, less aggressive profile that has more in common with the Viper Ultimate than previous DeathAdders. It's still very much a right-hander's mouse thanks to the slanted curve of the mouse's hump that leans ever so comfortably into your palm. The shell has a new microtexture coating instead of smooth plastic. It helps keep the now 63G mouse, a 25% drop from the previous DeathAdder, from flying out of your hand in the heat of battle.
Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.